Hey guys, meteorologist Chris Tomer here with this On the Snow Before You Go forecast. All right, here's what I'm seeing in this update period, and it's really all about this major Colorado snowstorm that's going to set up 3:13 through 3:15 in the morning. It's really just a classic March type setup with an Albuquerque or Panhandle type low that then swings in and maximizes the orographics. And I'm thinking 1 to 3 feet of accumulation on the continental divide of Colorado and east above 6,000 feet of elevation. So here's the timeline: 1 to 3 feet, afternoon 3:13 through the morning of 3:15. Then the whole storm transitions to the south into New Mexico and then actually retrogrades west through southern Utah and Arizona for several days. Timing for the Tetons and the Wasatch, kind of interesting. A little bit of leftover snow on 3:13. Then the pattern is completely dry, high and dry until 3:20 or later when a storm system will come back in. So a dry stretch. New Mexico, light snow accumulation afternoon, evening 3:13. Then moderate heavy 3:14 afternoon, 3:15 and 3:16. Thinking probably 10 to 20 inches down there. In the Northeast, warm temperatures continue to be a problem with rain on 3:15, 3:17, probably going to see some snow, assuming the temperatures stay cold enough, 3:18 and 3:19. All right, spider chart, odds of best snow next 7 days, more purple higher on the web, represents better odds of new snow. There are definitely places to stay. Colorado and New Mexico would be two places that are much higher on my list. Where you're going to get new accumulation during this period. Keep in mind, there are a lot of places that are going to go dry until 3:20. Utah, Wyoming, Montana, Pacific Northwest, BC, California. Those areas stay dry until about 3:20. All right, let me take you back. I want to show you water vapor satellite imagery and give you the lay of the land. So there's a big area of low pressure right here. This is the one that's going to set up right around this area and become that Colorado storm system, that snowstorm. Behind it, there's another big low pressure. This low will be part of a pattern shift on 3:20, 3:21, and 3:22 across the west. Here's the jet forecast. So by the time we get into Thursday, close of day, big trough over Colorado, New Mexico, but the low actually starts to get cut off. You can see it. It's retrograding back to the west through parts of Arizona, southern Utah, and it's going to sit here for several days until it dies. It gets totally cut off from the flow. Here we are in 3:15, still there. Now by 3:16, 3:17, that low is still there, but you'll notice the high pressure ridge across the Pacific Northwest, Northern California, and BC. There will be 3 days where probably nothing is happening but sunny skies. 3:18, 3:19, and then by 3:19, 3:20, the jet starts to buckle to the south. An area of low pressure develops, BC, Pacific Northwest, northern tier states, and then it dives down into Utah, Wyoming, and Colorado, 3:21 and 3:22. All right, forecast radar and satellite. So by the morning of 3:14, the rain has changed to snow in Denver and across the Front Range, but it's all snow through the foothills above 6,000 feet. The Palmer Divide of Colorado, the Continental Divide of Colorado gets a lot of snow out of this thing. Here's 3:14 in the afternoon, snow for Denver and the Front Range, snow back on the Divide. Snow starts to build heavier into southern Colorado into the morning of 3:15. You can see it happening. Into northern New Mexico. The low starts to get cut off. It's moving west into, look at that, southern Utah and Arizona. That's your shot of heavy snow. And it continues to throw waves of snow back into southwest Colorado. Look at the Pacific Northwest. It's high and dry. BC's high and dry. And then things start to shift. Here comes the next pattern change with the low coming south with the jet there. And it builds and dives down into Utah, Wyoming, and Colorado, 3:21 and 3:22. Okay, latest numbers. Here are my grand totals. By late 3:22, I'm expecting 1 to 3 feet. Again, most of this happens 3:13, 14, and 15 in Colorado, but 1 to 3 feet of snow in Colorado's high country, above 6,000 feet, in the mountains, the ski areas. 10 to 20 inches in northern New Mexico. The bulk of what you see in the Wasatch, the Tetons, Montana, Idaho, BC, all of that happens 3:20, 3:21, and 3:22. All right, let's look at it by time period. So 3:13 through 3:14, next 48 hours basically, next 36 hours. If you're going to be skiing on 3:14, you'll want to be in Colorado, Utah. You know what? The Wasatch will probably be fine tomorrow, and so will the Tetons, because you will have had new snow on 3:13. So shoot for those areas and also northern New Mexico for the best snow. The numbers continue to tick up on 3:15 in Colorado. and in northern New Mexico. And they continue to go up in southern Utah and parts of Arizona. 316 and 317 as that low just sits there and spins. Look at the Pacific Northwest and BC northern tier, totally dry. No accumulation during that time period. Latter period, 318 through 322. Keep in mind the bulk of what you see here happens 320, 321, and 322 in pretty much all of these areas. 318 and 19 are pretty dry. Okay, one last stop. Let's go to the northeast. Again, some accumulation here. I might be optimistic because I think a lot of this is going to be rain. 315, 317, but we might get some snow 318, 319. I'm assuming that we get some. And you can see the potential here. There is some potential. Northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, and northern Maine, if the temperatures stay cold enough. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this On the Snow Before You Go forecast. Always appreciate you tuning in here, and take care.